the first thing you learn when you start a business is that you have to be valuable for people to have a successful business, which is true to a degree, but how we see value and how value actually works is two very different things. And because of this, because all of the misconceptions around value and how your relationship with value is the very thing that is keeping the business stuck, that is keeping you from really growing the business or even creating that business that you could be creating. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the She Who Leads podcast. I'm Daniela Varga, your intuitive soul business coach, and I'm here to help you create your business around your purpose, your soul pull, which is the very unique thing that you are here to create in this lifetime. And everyone has that, so you have it too. And in today's episode, I want to talk about the very thing that actually is in the core of your soul business, is the core of your purpose, is the value that you create for people, the value that you are able to provide for people. That will be literally the backbone of your business. Now, what usually happens is we get stuck on it. People get stuck on, okay, how am I creating value? Like, I have nothing to offer. I have no solutions. I have no really results that I can sell in a business. So, how can I help people? How can I start a business when I actually don't have anything to sell, when I don't have any value to offer? And let me be the first to tell you, and I'm so sorry if I'm the first to tell you, but let me be the first, that you have value to offer. You have so much value. You are currently ready to give for people, but because of the relationship that you have with value, because of how you are looking at value, because of the conditioning, the society, and everything else, you actually don't see that value. Now, this episode will definitely change that. So, first things first, what are the things that makes us believe that we don't have any value to offer? The very first thing, we are conditioned to feel valuable, to get the sense of value from validation, right? From other people validating us, other people praising us, other people literally telling us how valuable we are. If we have that, if we hear that enough, then maybe we at some point believe that what we are doing is valuable. A lot of the times it's actually not happening. And I will tell you in a second why it is not happening, no matter how much other people tell you how valuable are. Because we are relying on an external thing, we are first of all very much reliant on that source of validation. So whenever that is cut off, so when people stop telling us that we are valuable, when people stop praising us, the self-doubt will creep in, and then we will doubt ourselves, then we won't feel valuable, right? It's almost like we need an endless supply, this endless external supply of feed me, feed me, feed me with more praise, because otherwise I am not feeling valuable. I am not feeling like that I am helping you, right? And that's because, again, the whole thing is reversed compared to how it's supposed to be. Anything that you want to create, anything that you want to put out in the world has to come from you. So in this case, until you feel like you are valuable, until you are able to connect to your value, no matter what other people say, you won't really feel valuable. And that's why, actually, no matter how much praise you get, if you don't feel valuable, you cannot connect to that. You will joke it off, you will brush it aside, you will doubt it, you will feel like people are only pitying you because and that's why they are praising you. And I had my fair share with that. Like, I did all of those things. I had my journey with value. Whew, I will tell you about this in a second. But this is why it's actually so hard for you to believe when someone is praising you, because you actually don't believe it yourself. And you need to be able to feel valuable first So people will actually feel the same way about you. And that has a whole science to it, why that works, which has a connection to the electromagnetic field. It is broadcasting out everything that we believe to be true about ourselves. So if I believe that I am valuable and I know how I am valuable, that is broadcasted out. People will get that broadcast. They will pick up on that because we are all very intuitive beings. That's why when someone enters a room and you would never have spoken to that person ever in your life, but you can sense like, oh, I don't want to speak to this person because they just feel like, oh. Or you see someone, I'm like, oh my God, I really want to speak to this person because they just feel so cool. Like I know they are super cool. Like I want to be friends with them, right? This is your intuition picking up on that person's electromagnetic field. And because they believe that they are cool, because they see themselves as special, maybe, or important, you pick up on that and you feel the same way about themselves as they feel about them. This works exactly the same with value. If I believe I am valuable, if I know that without a doubt, and there's a process to how you get there, which I actually teach in my coaching and help people do that because it's a foundational piece to building your purpose, to building a business around that, and just like having a life that you want to have. And not even speaking about the fact that when you feel valuable, then you will act differently, right? Like you won't question your prices. You will be more confident asking for a higher price because you know that you are valuable. You will be more confident in speaking about your offers. You will be more confident when you're speaking with clients. And again, they will pick up on that and they will treat you differently. They will feel like, oh, this person has something that I really, really want, because you know that you have something that they really, really need. See? Everything works so beautifully together. Now, the second thing that hijacks a relationship with value and how we see our value is that we are so laser focused on the result. We were taught that value equals result. If I am able to deliver a specific result, I am valuable. If I am able to deliver a useful result, again, talk about what this means in a second, then I am valuable. And most of the times, our definitions for useful or result is not even coming from us. It's coming from what we learn from others. It's coming from our parents. It's coming from society. It's coming from our teacher, who maybe has very different life goals than we have, but we have their value system and we're trying to apply that to ourselves. And another thing that the brain does is it really, really latches on specific results. So in your brain, you want to deliver a specific result, maybe, I don't know, helping people heal trauma, let's say that. So this is your goal. You want to help people heal, let's be more specific, generational trauma. Every session you go into, you see like, okay, did I heal this generational trauma or not? And if you don't see that you healed that generational trauma, you will deem that session as invaluable because, again, the specific result that you had in mind didn't happen. And we are blind to all the other results, all the other value that we created, because maybe this person has a perspective shift, maybe this person trusts themselves more, maybe this person realized that actually a lot of the stuff that they did in their lives and how they behaved and how they reacted, it's not even theirs. So now they have the awareness, which is an important step of healing generational trauma. They have the awareness of seeing what they are right now and who they are right now, and then they have the choice to choose differently. That's a big life change. That's a big value that they have, but you don't see that because you're laser focused on some other result. Maybe it wasn't even the right time for that. So those are the big two things that keep us stuck in feeling like, oh, I have nothing to offer, I cannot help people. Now, I had this so many different ways. One thing that I realized through my long journey with value, which keeps continuing, is that I was so laser focused on, again, this result thing. And I was convinced that value only comes from me like sharing the perfect information, or it was like giving people the specific and exact tools that they need so they can solve the problems that they have. And if that didn't happen, I felt like, oh, I didn't help them at all. I didn't created anything for them. I didn't provided any value, and I'm just a useless piece of not saying what that doesn't deserve anything in return. And that's what actually gets you. That's what got me to working overtime, to over delivering to people, to having 2 hour sessions instead of 60-minute sessions, which people paid for, because I felt like, oh, I didn't deliver what I actually promised to deliver them. That's what led me to lowering my prices or doing sessions for free for a very, very long time, or not asking for payment because, oh, I just do it because I don't know, like in our head, we rationalize it. Like I told myself, it's good practice, which it was. Or I am just, I just want them to have this because I want to help them grow, which again, I did. But at the end of the day, we want to build a business so we can help even more people, right? You want to build a business so you can help even more people. And that won't come if you are not valuing yourself and not asking for the money in return. Also, another thing with valuing only the result and specifically like looking for that specific result is that it really, really gets us into the imposter syndrome, because I'm not seeing the specific result that I promised people that I will deliver them. So it's very easy and actually to go to feel like, oh, I am an imposter now. I lied. I am a fraud because I didn't deliver what I promised. That's what's inducing this whole imposter syndrome thing. I did a podcast episode about this before. I will link it in the show notes. You definitely should check it out because I go in depth in that. But when you shift this, when you shift your value from the specific result, then the imposter syndrome will be gone. And that's what I actually help you to do with the Obvious Choice private podcast. I help you decode what are the exact pieces of the imposter syndrome and how can you actually shift your relationship with your value so you aren't feeling like the imposter, but you're feeling like the authority and the go-to expert on that field. The link is in the show notes below if you want to check that out. It's a 7-part private podcast, and it gets you from, again, understanding how you feel like an imposter really in your business to the point of, okay, I am the obvious choice for people and people should come to me to the solution, and not just rationalizing that, but really embodying that as an identity. So make sure to check that out because it really, really is a deep dive on you releasing all those feelings of imposter and really getting into this headspace of I have the best solution for you and you should come work with me. So make sure to check that out. So now that you understand why you didn't see your value and how that actually can manifest in your life and what that causes in your life, let's see what is actually value and how you're already creating value in so many different ways. So we established that money is not necessarily a specific result. Again, it will be in a way a result. Everything is a result in a way. But when you reshift your definition for a value, you start to realize that there are many different ways that you are helping with people. So one of them is, for example, you may not have a result yet. You may not have a working process yet. You may not have a method that is creating a specific type of end goal for people, but you can help them to avoid mistakes that you made. So you sharing your mistakes and what you experience through those mistakes is just as valuable for people than you giving them the solution, because now they are aware of the mistake and they can choose to find their own solution, which is actually much more empowering a lot of the times than just like sending people off with a solution. It gives them so much more courage. It gives them more self-confidence. It makes them feel like they are on top of their lives when they see like, oh, okay, this was the mistake, this person made this mistake, I don't want to make that, how can I maybe avoid that mistake? That's such a big value that you can create for people. The second way that you are, if I have to bet, already creating value in people's lives in making them feel things or experience things that they otherwise wouldn't. So again, it's coming from this belief that the result has to be there, but sometimes people feeling something different or thinking about things in a different way is just as valuable than having a specific end goal. That's why comedians are actually so well compensated, because they make people feel good, they make people laugh, they help them check out of their reality which they don't want to be in, and help them loosen up, help them have a good time, maybe even help connect with other people because they have the same topic to talk about, they have the same inside jokes because they follow the same comedian. So just by telling jokes, which so by society's standards wouldn't deem as super valuable, right? Like whoever said that, oh, your joke was so valuable, like thank you for saying that joke. Nobody really thinks about this way. But if you look underneath it, it creates so much value that they are actually helping people in many, many, many ways. How do you change people's feelings, thoughts, perception, anything? How do you change that? Because I bet that you do already. The third way is inspiring people, giving them new ideas. Like whatever you do to, again, change how they think, you giving someone an idea that they wouldn't have before is a change. Is a big, big, big change. You helping people get inspired, start something new, or just like explore something different that they wouldn't do before. That is, again, value that you are creating for them. So, how are you inspiring people? How are you giving them new ideas? Maybe with your questions, maybe with your weird thought process, maybe with you seeing the world through a very different lens than other people see it. Those are all the ways that you are creating value right now. And the fourth one is opening up new opportunities for them. You make them see something that they weren't able to see before. That can be, again, achieved through a lot of new things. Again, it can be through sharing knowledge, just sharing something that you know about, making them know about a food place that they never knew before, or making them realize that they have the option to, I don't know, have dual citizenship. That's something that's a common knowledge. But if it wasn't, like that would be something that would be super valuable for people to know, right? It is a new opportunity. It's not just new knowledge, it's a new opportunity for them because they can be living in a different country now. Oh, wow, that's so crazy. They can save money. They can have a lot of other benefits that they maybe didn't know about, right? So, how are you creating new opportunities for people? That's why, again, food bloggers and influencers do so well, because they kind of create new opportunities for people. They create new opportunities for shop owners and stores, and they also create new opportunities for people, like going to a new cafe shop and having a new experience. That's a new opportunity, right? Have this mindset, go through these. What are the mistakes that you can share that you made that would help people avoid those mistakes? What are some new opportunities that you are creating or could create by your stories, by your knowledge, by connecting different things together for people. How are you inspiring people right now? Maybe again, you talking about your hobbies, or maybe you talking about things through a different lens that would create a new perspective for people. And how are you making people feel different than they felt before? Maybe you help them feel their pain. Maybe you help them feel better about themselves. Maybe you comfort them. Maybe you make them feel seen. It can be anything, basically, until it is something that they maybe didn't allow themselves before or didn't experience before. And because of you, now they do. So I want you to really own in on these, because when you start to shift this, your whole perception of value and how you see yourself valuable will change. This is what happened to me. Like I said, I was so set on to share tips and be very, practical and like just value dumping people in all the wrong ways, with facts and tips and hacks. And I realized that what I actually help people the most with, when I am sharing my stories, when I share my own stories, my own examples, or when I share my metaphors, which people tend to love because it really helps them click things together. It really helps them make intangible things more tangible. So when I started to shift into my coaching of, okay, I'm telling my story, I'm telling my experience with this, I am actually giving you an example of how I did this, people started to shift so much faster and got so much better results just because of that, because that is how I am naturally creating value. And that is something that we go deeper in the coaching sessions and my coaching program that I do, of, okay, how are you naturally creating value without you having to, change yourself and force yourself to be someone else that you would be. And when you find that, it just becomes so easy, it's so natural, it's just basically you having to be you and people will be naturally drawn to you. And that's such an amazing feeling. And this is how it should be. This is how you should operate. This is how you should behave, finding how you naturally create value and using that to help people, because this is why you are here. Not to be a living, breathing encyclopedia, but to be naturally you, using your gifts, using your talents, and helping people through those. So if you want help with that, then you can book a free clarity call with me, which is again in the description down below. It's a 1-hour coaching, basically a complimentary coaching for you, when we can dive into whatever is blocking you right now with your soul business. Let it be not seeing your value, letting be not seeing how you are unique. It can be also not having a structure in your business, or just like not really knowing what to do next to actually have the clients and grow your business and have more clients and even bigger business. So we can dive into that, see what's blocking you right now and what is the best next step to tackle that. So you have the amazing, beautiful, magical soul business that you are meant to have. So this was this episode. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really, really love this. This is one of my passions. This is one of my core things in this life, to help people connect to their value. I certainly had to go through a lot of hoops to connect to my value and see my value the way I see it now. And I really, really would love for people to see the same, to see their value, because when you will see that, like, your whole life will change. How you see things, how you want to create, what you want to create, how you feel yourself in your business, in your relationships, because you will know, like, you will never ever sell yourself short ever again, because you know what you're worth and you're not afraid to ask it. Let it be in a higher level relationship or a higher paying client. So I'm here to help you with that, and more episodes are coming, and I see you in the next one. Bye.